Hello and welcome everyone to the How to Deploy a Game Server workshop. Today we're going to be working with Evan Johnson and Gage Burrs, and I'm Liam Bryan. We all work at the Makerspace at Bellevue College, and we're going to do our best to explain how to deploy the server. It's honestly quite simple, and it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it and just know the commands. A lot of this stuff after this server, this workshop, you can, if you just have the gist of it, you can Google it and actually kind of figure it out on your own, but we'll do our best to kind of explain what's going on and what the steps mean. All right, so I'll start off. Can you see my screen share? All right. So this is the DigitalOcean dashboard that you'll get brought to once you create an account and you log in. I'm logged in as my Bellevue College account. They'll have you make a project up here on the left. Projects basically group different virtual instances of servers together. You should only need one really. If you have like a couple different projects you want to work on, you can look into that more in the future, but just having the one will be fine. I have my name, Liam. All right, now to actually get a server up and running, this is just like installing an operating system on a computer physically with you, except it's just off in the cloud on servers that DigitalOcean are hosting themselves. So we go ahead and create a droplet. That's what DigitalOcean likes to call their instances. And it gives you a bunch of choices. I personally like Fedora, but Ubuntu is probably the best one to use just for support. Most software and games and services are going to support Ubuntu. So we're going to do that. We pick just the basic plan. You have all these other more expensive plans if you are maybe doing some business oriented server hosting or you need better performance. For our needs, we only really need the $6 a month one. Or actually, no, $5 a month. That's this new feature. I guess they added it last night. So they give you Intel and AMD options. That's actually really cool. So let's do regular Intel. It's $5 a month. And that is a constant payment. So with some other providers like Amazon AWS, Evan will go over that here in a minute. They charge you based on uptime. With DigitalOcean, it's just that guaranteed $5 a month, whether the server is on or off. So maybe not as cost effective if you are going to be doing some like, I only want the server on when I'm using it. But if you, for simplicity's sake, if you're like, hey, just give me $5 a month, that's pretty simple. DigitalOcean is good for that. It's predictable. All right, and then you pick your server region. We're just going to pick New York 3. Doesn't really matter. It's more about
Why not San
ping,
Francisco?
not San Francisco. No. San Francisco servers, for some reason, have, I think, been slower consistently when I've been using them. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Check it yourself. But I prefer the New York ones. Let's see.
Is there a Vancouver?
There is a
Oh no, there's
no.
Toronto.
There's
That's
yeah, it's
Northwest.
Toronto.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, so when you're creating your instance, you have these options for configuring the networking. That can all be changed later. Authentication, though, you'll want to get this set up at the start. When you create your droplet, it's harder to not to add the SSH authentication later or the password authentication. I recommend SSH. That's a quite honestly a simple task. You on Windows or Linux, it usually comes with the operating system. You just generate a key and then you print out the key. It's in a file in a folder under your user, the public key, and then you add it here. So for example, DigitalOcean will actually tell you how to go about doing that. It's literally just this command, and then it'll tell you how to print it out right here. And then you put that content right here and then name it. So for example, we're going to say Liam, because that's the one I'm using on the server. Actually, no, I think I made a new one. So let's go ahead and follow those instructions. I'm going to copy that cat command. I'm going to open up my, you can't see this right now, I think.
Nope.
I'll just go ahead and do this. I just did it in the command line. And let me switch my screen share, I guess, screen one. Okay. Yeah, so if let's command prompt to use PowerShell. So let's so if we do the cat, that's my public key. We go ahead and we add that to there, and we just call that Liam. All right, it's simple as that. And now basically what happens is the instance has my SSH key. It'll recognize my computer and allow me to log in. And that we'll get to that in a minute. That's if you don't want to use the offered like console that they give you. Let's just call this game server. And then that's about good. You can have some other options here, but we won't worry about that. All right, and it'll go ahead and it'll get that little mini server fired up for you. It'll take a few seconds to give you an IP address that you can use to log in. And then in a second, we'll have Gage help us with the commands. So quite frankly, it's been a while since I've done this. So
Linux is fun.
Linux is fun. Ubuntu is really fun. So yeah, if you go ahead, you just click it, it'll copy. We go ahead and we open this up again. And this is how we actually log into our server. There's an option on the DigitalOcean webpage that you can do access the console. That'll bring up a web screen. But if you like using your own personal terminal, you can just go ahead and do SSH root at, and then right click the IP address. And that's basically saying, I want to do an SSH secure shell connection with this user at this IP address. It's recommended you don't just rely on the root user. That's another video, but so I hit enter and go, yes, I trust it. And boom, it logs me in. So now I'm actually like connected and working on the game server I just launched.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just update things real quick.
Yeah, the first thing you always want to do when you do this is do an apt update and an apt upgrade.
Why is that good?
Because then you make sure you have all possible up-to-date repositories available to you. Like if you wanted to download Steam or Chrome or anything, you want to make sure that when you're downloading it that you're getting the latest version and that it actually exists. And so updating allows for that. And then upgrading is actually applying all changes that need to be made, whether it's updating or installing.
Yeah, we should I'm gonna compile a list of commands that we're using during this. I think that would be useful. Actually, if you want to do that, Gage, that'd be good.
I can drop in commands for us into the Zoom meeting for you all.
Yeah.
So sudo apt update. And then after that you're going, well, it's almost done. But after that you're going to want to do a sudo apt install for openjdk-8-jre-headless.
So real quick, right here, it's gotten to a point where it's asking me, do you want to install like a new thing? It's given some options. I'm just going to say, yeah, I want the new updated version. It's going to continue on. So sometimes the installer will ask questions. Usually what I do is I'll just say, yes, update, because I don't really know another option that I'm not configuring it custom.
The last 2% taking.
2% are always the longest.
It's taking its time.
be fair, this is the $5 instance. This thing is running off of 1 gig of RAM and one CPU core,
Yeah.
which is honestly not the worst for a $5.
Better than a Raspberry Pi.
Better than a Raspberry Pi, that is for sure. I'm actually really excited. They have the premium, but they have the Intel and AMD versions for just $1 more. I think that's interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Guess if you wanted to test based on different CPU architectures. It's taking a long time because it's I think generating an image, and those are just larger files that take a little bit of time to kind of work through.
After you do the initial update and upgrade, there's a good chance it won't ever take this long because usually
Yeah.
you're running a somewhat up-to-date system.
Yeah, there we go. So,
Cool.
for example, if we hit up arrow key, do it again, it'll just be like nothing to do.
Yeah.
Done.
Cool. So the next thing we want to do is install Java because we need Java for a Minecraft server. And so Liam will be installing OpenJDK 8, which is Java 8 version, JRE headless. And we're using headless because that includes no GUI elements to it, not because we don't have a
sudo apt install.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember to enter the right commands.
And it's called OpenJDK because this is a non-Oracle version because Oracle is an evil company.
You're on record, I guess, saying that.
Most people, okay, a lot of developers.
These are not the opinions of the Rising.
I am not.
College. Yeah. We are not representatives.
This is the Gage Burrs opinion piece.
It's not.
We are not representatives of anything we work for.
Okay.
Why is it a headless?
Anything and everything we have said in this workshop is entirely our own opinions.
Because it not being headless would include other things we don't care about, like maybe GUI elements or elements we can't observe because we're using a terminal.
Yeah, and so it's just extra stuff. Yeah, extra stuff we don't need.
Next thing we want is a sudo apt install for Screen.
What's Screen?
Screen is a way that when he closes his session, oh, it's already installed, see? That when the session is closed, the terminal he has open right now is that the server will continue to run. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it would close and shut down. And the only other thing before we actually get to installing Minecraft is opening up the port for Minecraft.
That's true.
Which is, if you remember, it's sudo ufw allow space 25565 in the case of Minecraft. The port could be almost anything, but it's convention that for a Minecraft server you use 25565 as the port.
Mm-hmm. And UFW is just, I think, Universal Firewall. It's just a program that Linux has available that you can use as a firewall. And so I'm just saying, yeah, we're allowing connections at that port.
Yeah, and I'm going to go grab the current download link for Minecraft, and I'll just send that right over to you. Here, I'll just send you the URL to Minecraft, and then I'll let you actually grab the link for it, because I think that'd be more interesting.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so this is the link you sent me. That, like, as you can see, the URL, it's just Minecraft download server. If you probably just Googled like install Minecraft server, it would probably bring here as well.
Yep. And then you want to just right click that download Minecraft server.jar and you want to copy its link.
Mm-hmm.
Link location.
Oh, link location will do it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And then what you want to do back in your terminal is wget space that, well, first let's navigate to maybe a better directory because I don't know where you are. Can you list your directory?
Yeah, ls is going to show us where we are. So this is just like kind of a root directory.
Okay, so you can create a new folder. This looks like your home folder to me. So you can create a new folder.
Sure. Directory. Let's just call it
Minecraft server.
And that's arbitrary. It doesn't need to be a specific name. It's just for our
so we know what it is.
Yeah, so we know what it is. So wget is like webget. It's basically
it just
telling
downloads at that link.
Oh, and you just right click, and it goes and installs it.
And then we have
so if I do ls, it'll show, boom.
Look at
That's
that.
our little Java runtime package.
Yeah, and then
I think that's what jar means, right? Java runtime.
I think it's Java archive.
Oh, Java archive.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
from here we can start a screen session. You just type in screen. That's all it takes. And now we are detached. While this is telling him what's happening, you can just press space so we can go past this. So now we're here in a screen. Now we need to run the Java server, which he happens to have on his left the command he needs to run for it.
Yes.
Except instead of being Minecraft underscore server 1.16 blah blah blah, I'm pretty sure it's just server.jar because I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, you're basically picking the package that it downloaded as.
And the XMX 1024M and the XMS 1024M are both signifying how much RAM the server can use. Now, I think we have a gig max, so we have to use about, 768 kilobytes is the most we can.
Is it KB or K?
Oh, I'm sorry, megabytes. Just
megabytes.
Put capital M. I didn't mean kilobytes.
Yeah.
So that's 3/4 of a gigabyte. Because we need some leftover for the operating system. I'd put that at 768 too. So one is signifying the max amount of RAM it can use, and the other signifying basically how much it can use from the start.
Now, fun fact, if you're on Linux or Windows, you can at this point you can just hit tab and it'll auto-complete, which is a lot easier. So if you have like a longer file name, you can tab through that. And then no GUI. All right, now we hit enter.
Okay.
It's currently running. I don't think we'll need a sudo, which is the special privileges function, but
it's not doing anything at all. It's a bit strange, or at least it's not reporting anything to console.
Is it because you have no GUI?
No GUI, because when you open up a Minecraft server.jar, it'll actually open a GUI version that you can work with. But we don't have a GUI.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, okay. Apparently it did all.
I just had to. I hit the arrow keys just to kind of resend an input to get what's going on. But yeah, that's what's happening. This is normal. This actually happens when you first run the server.
This happens only for Minecraft server. You run it for the first time, it generates its files, and then you have to accept the EULA.
Yes.
So I'm using Nano. You can use Vim. You can use any other kind of terminal text editor or whatnot. And it's just as simple as I arrow key over, and I set this to true. And for Nano, you can hit Control S to save it, and then Control X to exit. Simple as that. And then we just arrow up a couple times to that command we ran before. And hit arrow too soon. But it's now running again. It's going to go through that, and because the EULA is accepted, yeah, there we go. It's giving us, it's building up that Minecraft world.
Yep. I think even during this you can Control AD, but we'll wait until afterwards. So Control AD.
Just to give a full look. This is normally what you see in your Minecraft game when you're starting up a level and it's loading up everything. Except this time it's happening on a server somewhere in New York.
And so after this is done, we'll do Control AD, which will let us leave that screen that we created. That way the server will continue to run, and we as the user are free to do other things in our terminal if we want.
That being said, this is the $5 instance, and it will take much longer. And the more power you give the server, the faster this will be. So this is really just a representation of the bare minimum and the kind of input it takes. anything above this is, I think, significantly quicker.
Yeah.
Even the $10 instance is like more than twice as fast, just because having that extra RAM and that extra
Even
processing.
with such a small server, you can still run two or three to four people maybe on it.
Yeah, I think what we did is we ran you, me, and Evan pretty comfortably this one time when we tested it live.
I think
It had some growing pains, but it ran.
I think that was on the better AWS Graviton instance, which we'll get to.
Gotcha.
Well, I think it ran fine on all of them. It just took time initially because it had to generate the world first when people got in.
Yes.
As long as you weren't flying around at
Yeah.
Mach 5, it seemed fine.
Yeah,
I think
shift flying was a little rough.
I think 768 megabytes of memory is a little bit low. You probably want like a 2 CPU, 2 gigabyte, or 2 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you can allocate
Machine.
a gig and a half to the server.
This is a great option if you're maybe like kind of tight on cash and you just want a friend or two to work on some simple Minecraft stuff.
Now you don't have to pay $20 to some other server
Yes.
hoster for this same spec.
Exactly. All right, done. So the world is up and running. This is a fully fledged Minecraft world just sitting there. All right, so Control AD. Wait.
I just want to point out, you can see that the server runs a bit slow because you can see it's repeatedly having an issue in terms of rendering.
It can't keep up.
But that's fine. Yeah, Control AD gets you out of a screen. Cool. And then you can do screen space -list to see your screens. And we can see it right there. It's detached and it's doing it.
Yeah, it's like the server is watching itself basically.
Yep. Do you want to try loading up the Minecraft? I don't know if you have Minecraft installed.
I don't have Minecraft installed. No, unfortunately.
Okay.
So at this moment, this is less of a demo of how it'll perform, but.
And you can resume a session by doing screen space -r space. That little ID you see at the start that says 36516.
Oh yeah, this one here.
Yeah, and that'll let you back into your screen.
Boom, and it just opens right back up. Hit Control AD again, and yeah, so there we go. That's deploying the server on DigitalOcean. Now I'm going to pass it over to Evan, and he's going to show you how to do it on Amazon AWS.
Do we have the time for that? Because it's 28. Yeah, sure.
I think we have the time for you to the commands will be the same on how to deploy the server. Evan, if you just want to go over how to set up set up an AWS instance.
Okay.
Let's stop sharing.
I think time is a little arbitrary right now, given how late we started.
Sure.
Yeah. Can also clip it. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right. So this is AWS. AWS has a lot of different services, like a lot of different services.
Yes.
And the one you're going to want is under compute. It's called EC2. That's Elastic Compute 2. First thing you want to do is make sure that you're in the Oregon availability zone, assuming you're in the greater Seattle area. If not, then pick the availability zone closest to where you are. If you're in the greater Seattle area and you have it set to North Virginia, your ping is going to be pretty bad. So mine is set to Oregon, and we're going to run we're going to get an instance of an EC2 instance, which is just a VM, and we're going to hit. So I have 2 here already. I'm going to create a new one. So we're going to launch. On AWS, whenever you're running Linux, preferably use Amazon Linux 2, because it has some optimizations for Amazon's cloud hardware. And normally you're probably going to want to use x86 architecture over here. But for the sake of Minecraft, I'm going to use ARM. Amazon made some chips or some new processors in-house for um, their EC2 instances and other uses as well. And they're significantly faster and cheaper for what you pay for. And not you're not always going to have game servers and applications and stuff that are capable of running on this completely different processor architecture. x86 is what Intel and AMD use. ARM is what your phone uses and what a bunch of other devices use. But if you have something like Java, Java will run. There's a Java runtime environment for pretty much everything. And since one exists for ARM, and Minecraft will run on any installation of Java, we're going to use ARM.
I would still say at the end of the day, if you're unsure, go with x86.
Go with x86 when in doubt. I'm going to select this free trial version of a T4G.micro instance type. If you don't know what most of these mean, yeah, I don't either. But you can look them up, and Amazon has a lot of information about what these offer and what they're optimized for, and yeah, they have different amounts of memory, they have different numbers of CPUs, they have different speed, storage, network capability optimizations.
Why don't you go for do the 2 cores, 2 gigs, just the one up, just to see what the performance.
I don't want to pay for it, but actually, sure, yeah.
I
Actually,
don't run this thing for too long, it's just for the demo.
yeah, yeah. Even this one's probably going to be maybe 20 cents an hour tops. So even then,
Even 20 cents sounds high for that. I'll go check.
Yeah, a lot of these are like
the T4G, not small.
like 7 cents an hour.
So we're going to, oh, I skipped a step, sorry. Instead of hitting review and launch, go to configuration details, that's fine. Storage, 8 is a little small, so probably use 16 gigabytes. We're going to ignore tags. Next, security groups. This is important, so we're going to want do you guys know if Minecraft uses TCP or UDP? I'm just going to open both.
Yeah.
So Minecraft uses, I can't remember if Minecraft uses TCP or UDP. They're just 2 different internet protocol
So I checked.
styles.
The cost for that one that you're looking at is a cent and 68 hundredths of a cent.
Per hour.
So
a little spendy.
In more in better English, $0.0168 an hour.
So 1.68 cents? Or
yeah.
Very
affordable.
Very, very, very affordable. Yeah. Yeah, so here we're just going to set custom TCP and UDP rules. Can't remember which one it uses. Minecraft by default always uses port 25565. And over here, just setting it to the source IP. So any IPs that you want to restrict or allow to connect to the device, setting it to 0000/0 is just means everything. And I'm going to add one more, and that is going to be custom ICMP rule v4, and I'm going to set it to echo request. This is just going to allow me to ping the server, because otherwise it won't respond to pings. And that's going to be 0.
Quality life.
What is pinging?
Pinging is you just send a very small, simple data packet to a server, and you measure the amount of time it takes for that server to respond with a simple "Yes, I got your message."
And it's as easy as going in the terminal, typing ping space the IP address, then it'll do it for you.
Yes. So this looks pretty good. 2 CPU, 2 memory. I'm going to hit launch. And this is where we're going to select our key pair. So in DigitalOcean generated your key pair in the console. Amazon does it slightly differently. In order to SSH into a server, you need that key pair. Amazon has you, in this case, either use an existing key port or choose to create a new one. I usually create a new one. Drop the key pair. I'm going to download that, and I'm just going to save that to my desktop. And then I'm going to hit launch instances, and that's going to let us SSH into the server. So as that's initializing, let me open. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is a big window. Hold on a second. That's better. Can you guys see this window? Cool. So while this is initializing,
Let's see what happens if you ping it while you initialize. Just
I don't think it has an
an
IP
IP
for
even.
me to ping yet.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so you can grab the public, so you can copy the public IPv4 address or the IPv4 DNS. Either one is fine. And sure, let's just.
Yeah.
Looks like the server's up. So go back to instances.
With
Refresh.
20 millisecond response times.
Yep.
Good.
It's running. Yeah, an average of 21 millisecond ping is really, really good. That's because it's pretty close to where I am.
The ping you wish you had when you were playing video games.
Yes.
Absolutely. And now that it's up and running, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit because it's on a funky stand. We're gonna SSH and then so -I, and then so SSH and then -I is the flag that tells us that the next item is going to be the path to our .pem key pair file, and then that's the path to the file, and then the default user of Amazon Linux is EC2-user. For Ubuntu, the default user is Ubuntu. For other distributions of Linux will have a different default user. Why is that not? There we go. And we are in.
All right.
Cool. Yes, it's fine. So we're gonna make a directory.
So PWD is just listing what directory he's in and the path to that directory. More
Print working directory, I think is what it means.
Yeah.
ls is just list items. So now we have a directory called Minecraft server. We're gonna hit cd to change directory to not to Minecraft server, and now we're going to use wget. Actually, well, before that,
Java. After you
yum,
update.
yum update. Yum is the same thing as apt. Basically, every distribution of Linux, or some of them might have different package managers. These are all package managers. They do exactly the same thing. Sudo or apt, apt-get, yum. I think pack or pacman. They all do the same thing.
Those are the three major ones you'll run into. Probably Pac-Man the least out of all of them. The one you'll probably encounter the most is the apt one, with Yum coming in second in terms of how frequently you'll see these when you work with the Linux server.
And you can do a search function like Evan just did with them. If you ever like, hey, I'm looking for the packages that are available, this is a great way to find what you might have to install.
Sadly,
it's
there's
doing
so many
Mach
Java
6.
packages
There we go.
that Java. I mean, I think 11 technically works too. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, the Amazon Corretto headless is Java.
That's documentation.
This one, development environment.
The one.
The head. Well, it's the same thing, but
What's
the middle one. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're on Amazon. We do.
Here, let's try the Amazon one. I've never actually tried the Amazon one, so let's see if it even works.
I've used it. It works just like Java.
Cool. Yeah, supposedly I think Java 11 has some, or JRE 11 has some optimizations for Minecraft or AWS. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I just heard that from somebody.
Don't quote us. Google it yourself.
Most Java versions don't have much different between them. There are a few Java versions that were major updates that are quite different in terms of what they give and what they take. But you don't have to worry about that. Java 8 is good. Java 11 is good. Both of those are very standard and very similar and work. We're up to like Java 15 or 16 now. So
yeah.
And I think Java 14 was a major update. So
it is. I think it's maybe worth noting that the Java 8 isn't too far, I think, behind time-wise. It's just that the company Oracle that maintains Java decided to start releasing more versions more frequently in the past few years.
It's not. It really doesn't want to paste. There we go. So that just got downloaded. Just use wget to get the.
Man, this download speed was slower than the DigitalOcean one. DigitalOcean did 200 megabytes per second. This did 127.
Oh, neat.
Okay.
So it looks like you got about a gig down in terms, and Liam got nearly 2 gigs.
Yeah. So since we have 2 gigs of RAM on this instance.
Yeah, go ahead and follow the suggestion.
We can set this to what's what is this, plus 512?
Asking me to do math.
39?
No.
1024 plus 512. 5 plus 4 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be an even number.
Okay. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Oh, make sure to yeah. So Evan didn't change the command to do server.jar.
Oh. There we go. Wow, that happened quick. So let's text. Let's change this to true. I'm just gonna update that. And then let's try that again.
So why aren't you using screen?
I don't know how to use screen. I actually
There's something
previously
else you
used
like, right?
I previously used NoHup, and that is fine, but not like the cleanest way to do it. Ideally, you should use Screen or Tmux. Both of them support that. Or you can, if you, or there's also an option to make the Minecraft server run as a system service using a program called systemd. But we're not gonna bother with that.
That's a word of heresy.
Systemd.
Oh yeah, the Linux community. There are a lot of people that reject it.
OpenRC.
Okay, so now if I type help, I now see a bunch of Minecraft server commands like start and stop and seed and save and stuff and reload.
Server is
So
running.
I'm in the server, and man, look how fast that made the spawn area.
Mm-hmm. Significantly faster with just a little more oomph.
Yeah, just a little bit more room. Okay, I think that concludes it.
Thank you for
I'm just
coming.
gonna-
Thank you for watching.
I'm going to
To close out, if you have any questions or if you want to hang out, you can go to Bellevue College. You can look up Rise Makerspace. In fact, you want to pull up the website, and you can from there you can get to our Discord, or you can email us to contact us. Yeah, there you go. Our nice website. And we have the Discord, Instagram, Twitter, email.
Yep, we hang out on Discord. Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Before we do that though, very importantly, shut down your server. You can do so by typing sudo shutdown in your SSH window, or if you just want to exit your SSH window, I think it's just exit. So we're no longer connected to the server, but the server is still running. So in AWS, so we select our running server. We go to instance state. We can hit stop instance or terminate instance. Stop instance will stop it and save it for later. Terminate will terminate and completely kill it. And since the workshop is over, I'm going to terminate it.
So long. Temporary instance.
The
All right.
moment you hit the moment you hit start or the moment you hit stop or terminate, it stops billing you. So even if for some reason the server takes 5 minutes to shut down, that's Amazon's problem, not yours. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that concludes it. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
See you next time. We have some Rust workshop servers that I'm going to plug that are coming up. If you want to learn how to use Rust, it's a cool language that's gaining some traction. Evan and I are shills, even Gage, actually. Yeah, that's right. This is the trio.
Yeah.
You'll constantly hear us talking about Rust. So if you want to hear more deliberately, come to our workshop. You can see us post updates on that and the Discord server and on the Makerspace site.
Absolutely. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.